While corporations have gone risk-off with crypto, there is a growing comfortability with the Metaverse, gaming, and Web3. Joining me now with more is Sebastien Borget. He's the co-founder of the Sandbox and president of the Blockchain Game Alliance, alongside Saro McKenna. She's the co-founder of Alien Worlds, which was one of the most played blockchain games in 2022, according to DAppRadar. Welcome both.
Hi, Christine.
All right. So I am interested, we're having a bit of a crypto winter right now, but the Metaverse is alive and kicking. What have the conversations been like for you in Davos? And I guess, Saro, let's start with you.
Yeah, I think everyone's really interested in how people are entering this new democratized environment in which there are so few barriers to people bringing business ideas, community concepts, making money. This is, the Metaverse is literally a new technical environment and a new economic environment. And so what that means is that individual people are relatively empowered versus large incumbents to offer something new, to monetize that position. And so I think everyone's really interested in the disruptive potential and reality of that. Some a little bit scared about that, right? If you have an incumbency position in the real world and the Metaverse is this dramatically different place in which even smaller participants can be relatively successful versus, a lot of, Davos has a reputation perhaps of bringing together the global elites. And I think, they're interested in what that means for them. And I think we're here really to speak to people and to say the Metaverse is a place in which you can bring your business ideas, your communities, and really make an impact in a way that you might not be able to in the real world, because this is a sort of bottom-up, peer-to-peer environment.
Mm-hmm. Sebastien, so this week, South Korea announced plans for a virtual replica of the capital city called Metaverse Seoul. Have you heard of this? And, in your conversations, are folks here, policymakers, governments interested in building in the Metaverse?
Absolutely. As you know, Sandbox has global presence, and it's been one of our key focus to really be as inclusive as possible toward all the different culture of the world, bring them together. And it's a little bit the topic here in Davos, actually, like how the Metaverse can impact a more fragmented world and foster more collaboration. And Sandbox has developed this culture of virtual neighborhood on the map, including culture from Korea, from Turkey, from Dubai, Singapore, Thailand, British culture, and much more. And doing much more than actually trying just to create virtual replicas of cities. We want to create an environment which will allow more inclusivity, more diversity, raise awareness, and inspire action through existing activation that's already live in Sandbox. And I can mention probably several where we are educating about how both the social and environmental causes, how to create ESGs, like how to create a more sustainable world and make it impactful back into the physical world. I don't like to say real world because I feel like both physical and virtual world are actually coming together, and we're seeing that actually here in Davos.
So ESG, environment, governance, social is very much a hot topic, buzzword here at Davos. How do you incorporate ESG sustainability in the Metaverse?
So we're a platform. We provide the tools for anyone to leverage, and we're seeing creators, individual accelerator program, project, but also large brands leverage those tools to create those experiences where they are combining educational aspect and gamification aspect, and also onboarding users to become avatar, to start understanding benefit of true digital asset ownership, and leveraging that to also give them a voice, let them express their concern and make action. And through the action, those have a real repercussion. We've been raising funds for various charities around conservation of bees with a partner, or giving back towards decarbonization, sharing 1% of the proceeds from Sandbox land sale to replant forest. I think we replanted roughly 166,000 lands across the Amazonia, Madagascar, and other regions of the world. And every time, we really want to empower people for the mission that matter to them, beyond also allowing them to turn their passion into a job, develop new skills and new businesses on top of the sandbox. And now I believe there's tens of thousands of people who are making a living already with the sandbox. We counted more than 200 studios around the world on more than 20 different countries and 4 continents. And our mission this year will be to keep empowering more and more, opening the sandbox to the public and keep doing greater impact.
Daily active users?
So, just as I mentioned, Sandbox will be opening this year, but we've seen tremendous engagement last year during the Alpha Season 3. We had over 17 million visits across 100 experiences. People spent 1 hour, almost 2 hours a day on average, which is really meaningful if you want to carry a message to someone. And more than 360,000 monthly active users during that period.
Let's bring up the CoinDesk Market Index. So the new year has gone off to a great start for the culture and entertainment sector, which contains projects related to media, content, and gaming. It's up 27% roughly in the last week and 46% for so far in the year. In terms of user activity, inflows, what are you seeing on your gaming?
Yeah, so I think that's actually another reason why people want to talk about the metaverse and blockchain gaming here at Davos, is because despite the crypto bear market, a lot of metaverse and gaming projects are really buoyant. So we haven't seen much of a drop-off in user numbers. We're the largest blockchain game by users and by transactional flows. One of the great things about people owning their own assets and playing on chain and having autonomy within those metaverse environments is that very sticky relationships get built, right? So if you're part of a DAO, for example, in Alien Worlds, you own the token, you're voting for representatives, you're playing together, you're competing against another DAO. Those aren't relationships that just sort of ebb and flow with the market cycle. Those are real people that you've gotten to know and that you are collectively building something together to do. So I think that's the whole kind of utility theme, right? Which is so important in crypto, and which we're seeing alive and well in blockchain games.
Well, you both have separate metaverse ecosystems. So in terms of interoperability, where do you see that headed in terms of bridges?
So we're both founder members of the Open Metaverse Alliance for Web3, OMA3, which has brought together our 2 projects and a few others to lead the charge in terms of technical interoperability between metaverse environments. So, the metaverse eventually is one environment where people can port their identities, their assets, can have gaming experiences that are seamless between environments. At a technical level, that's still, although the vision, it's not yet the reality, but we're coming together to make that more possible.
Do you want to add to
There are definitely working groups in progress around portaling, around digital identity and bringing the reputation. And at Sandbox, we really try to showcase the possibilities. We've already integrated with more than 40 different projects, the most popular NFT collection to become avatars. We really see avatars as citizens of this new digital nation and empowering them through token-based ownership, making them stakeholders of that future of the world and build a more democratic world. I think that's also one of the key of Davos, and that's why we're here to discuss it with the public sector and the private sector.
So as the president of the Blockchain Game Alliance, you guys released a report, and I guess the study found that poor gameplay was the second most commonly cited challenge for blockchain gaming adoption. When do you see that improving?
I think, just like any new gaming platform, there is always a lot of experimentation at the beginning. Let's look at what games were back on arcade machines and then on console and then on smartphone. I remember the early Angry Birds, Temple Run, these kind of games. They were very simplistic in nature, but still they were able to attract the first players. And through iteration, they became the more addictive, better graphic games and so on. So it's moving forward both from the content, the experience, the fun mechanics. And it's great to hear that the majority of the industry, since the Blockchain Game Alliance now count over 500 members, is actually aware of that problem and are currently addressing it. So I'm looking forward to 2023 games and a difference in that field.
Well, Saro, Sebastien, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, that was Sandbox co-founder Sebastien Borget and Alien Worlds co-founder Saro McKenna.